Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Basically, are discussing another topic that is city creation. City creation, basically, are discussing another topic that is future creation. In future creation, basically, are discussing another topic that is SBI account, Amazon account, and after 2 days, basically, the big earthquake is going to come in India. So that is a topic, basically. That also you can say is a user story, basically. But really, basically, earthquake is not going to come. Just taking as an example. Otherwise, basically, one person will tell that, why Sunil has never told that basically after 2 days, basically, the earthquake is going to come, and really, basically, came. But to other country basically. So that is basically not topic basically I discuss. So here one person basically asks the question basically. So basically every time basically you tells that basically today world will end, today world will end, today world will end, today world will after 2 seconds basically world will end, after 2 minutes world will end, after 3 minutes world will end, after 1 hour world will end, after 3 hours world will end, after 4 hours world will end. So are you basically kidding to us basically? Or basically you are doing some joking basically? You always get basically everybody afraid basically. You basically what actually you are trying to say basically. That basically can you please explain to me? So one person told that you are every time basically telling here basically. One of the person basically watching the video and basically he got afraid basically after one day basically the world is going to end, world is going to end. But he basically started stopping basically drinking these that each and everything basically stopped. But then basically world was not ended. So what basically is this basically? That is after 2 days basically the world will end. After 2 seconds the world will end. After 3 seconds the world will end. After 1 hour the world will end. After 3 hours the world will end. After 10 hours the world will end. After 12 hours the world will end. After 120 minutes world will end. After half an hour world will end. So what is that basically? Yeah, basically you always change the time basically. Sometimes basically you tell after 2 days basically the world will end. Now basically you are telling after 1 second world will end. Now basically you are telling after 2 second world will end. Are you kidding basically? Are you kidding basically? One of the person basically from Africa basically told me. Are you kidding to us? Are you joking? No, basically that it was not joking basically. The fact about this is, but exactly basically I don't have the number basically. But this is 100% authenticated and confirmed. And one of the person told that the thing basically is going to tell you have the proof basically. So that also basically I will give you just a minute. So one of the person told that how basically you can say that basically after 2 days the world is going to end. So one person basically told that you are telling always basically you are telling after 1 day's world will end, after 3 days world will end. The people basically who are staying near the sea water they basically immediately exit. They basically exit to sometime basically they exit from Mumbai only because Sunil has told basically world will end. So that group also basically started telling, "Arey yaar, basically, matlab, who is that person basically? Who is always telling that basically after world will end, after 2 days world will end? Pick that person basically. Take some strict action basically. How we basically is telling that basically world will end. It's basically against the law of cyber, these, that, each and everything basically they started with. But they are rich people basically. They can do anything basically. They can tell also anything. So one person told that yeah, basically still basically I'm not getting up. You basically told that also whatever earthquake basically which happens in this world basically, not a single earthquake basically. Sorry, each and every second earthquake basically which is coming there, that is connected with the death of human being. So one person told that that is how basically that is possible. Yeah, basically the earthquake which is coming basically, that is connected with the human soul. Then one of the person told that big personality basically dies, then basically big disaster happens. Why basically it's like that? Because he is connected with big level of people basically. The number of people basically he is connected. That is too much basically, and their negative energy basically creates problem. So this connected to very dangerous thing basically. This is one thing basically that basically we have already discussed, but little bit basically I added here basically. That is negative energy and positive energy. One big personality basically died. Big level of disaster basically happens, and that is fact basically. Sometimes basically big level of accidents happens. Train accident, bus accident, sheep accidents, pool sometimes basically falls down. Mountain basically entire mountain basically comes down. So that is actually what here basically. Lots of people says that that is a global warming. Basically. That is also correct. Basically. Somebody has given them that name as a global warming. But inside that global warming, there is one topic basically that is called death topic. Whenever basically one person is going to die, you basically capture his body type basically, or basically handle basically what to say basically capture his human soul. That basically one can't do. Only satellite group can do, because you don't have to that level authentication. So one of the person told that whenever basically the person is going to die, few people basically die suddenly. As if that basically Sunil Arna basically died suddenly basically. So satellite group basically is going to capture that human souls. After this, basically satellite group told that basically, yeah, this is very risky. So do one thing, basically we have completed our task. We are giving that task to Earth planet. So Earth planet, you basically now handle the human souls. They have given the control. But ultimately that is going to connect to satellite also. Because without authentication, not a single task is done in the Earth planet. So it is going to connect with it. So that one of the person, whenever basically the person is going to die, before few seconds basically, the authentication happens. The authorization also happens. And the each and every earthquake basically which is coming, each and every single earthquake basically which is coming, that is connected with the death of human. If you have to check this basically, you can check it. But for that basically you don't have the authentication. But for that basically one of the satellite person told that yes basically Sunil is telling correct basically. For that little bit basically take the authentication. So they basically done live experiment with it. First basically they captured that how many big people basically are on the last stage. They basically started controlling them. Then basically who are basically at the last stage. Assume that basically Sunil Nair suddenly is going to die basically. So they started capturing Sunil Nair body also. Entire basically body basically they dumped their energy. So that basically there. So like this basically the all death basically are connected with earthquake and natural disaster. But how this is connecting to after 2 days basically the world is going to end. So one of the satellite person basically told that daily basically we dumps the earth planet and data daily or hourly basically, or basically every 2 hourly basically, that I am not confirmed basically, but that happens within 24 hours. So assume that basically here basically we will take one rough data. Within 24 hours they send the earth planet and the data. That is earth planet and the data. So they send the earth planet and data. Here basically the calculation happens of the energy basically. That are the negative energy and positive energy. But here few energy basically are negative for earth planet, but satellite group says that basically that is a positive energy. So according to that group basically they checks the energy data basically. And if the percentage of certain level of energy basically increase, then immediately basically assume that basically some number basically they have fixed. That if the percentage will come up to this number, then world will end immediately basically. If percentage of number basically is going to come below this, then few part of world will end. If number is coming below this, then few part of world more will end. So that was shocking basically. Yeah. That means one of the person basically from NASA ISRO group told that basically we know that basically they sense basically, but that is connected to this level basically, that also we know basically. That also we know basically. But we basically never able to capture that data. One of the NASA ISRO group told that because that is not possible to capture. Because world end means what basically? World end means complete end. The human souls basically is also going to end completely. So that data they are basically sending. So you can capture that data basically. That is the very confidential data. Basically. That basically NASA ISRO group also basically can't capture. So one person told that ये लोग मतलब क्या कैलकुलेट करते हैं यार बेसिकली व्हाट दे कैलकुलेट बट दिस इज फैक्ट है बेसिकली दिस इज फैक्ट बेसिकली सो वन डे बेसिकली every time basically Sunil or NAIR basically tells after 2 days basically the world will end. Today world will end. After 5 seconds world will end. After 10 minutes world will end. After 20 minutes world will end. After 1 hour world will end. After 30 minutes world will end. This is correct basically. So here the question is when basically they send that data basically from universe. That is very dangerous thing. When they send because everything basically happens just within 1 or 2 minutes basically. That is 1 or 2 minutes. That also you can say 120 or 150 second. Within this, basically everything. So within this everything, basically they change the entire world energy basically. So do you think basically this is possible here? Basically? Because everywhere Earth planet people basically has kept the tracking device basically. Any basically other energy basically of other than the Earth planet created energy enters to our energy, they immediately tracks basically. Then also basically just within 1 or 50 second basically or 200 second basically, everything basically they check. So how basically that is possible? Is it possible basically? That is possible. And another way basically one of the person told that city you can see. Yes, basically that city I can see. There basically the world energy is kept. One person told that how basically the clock are running basically. That is the ghadi basically. Clocks are running basically. How basically they are running. That is world energy. Even basically when nuclear plant gets added basically in this world, that time basically gets effect basically. Why? Because the time is connected with entire world energy. So there are many clocks basically which are connected with the whole world energy. So that also basically one of the source basically. That is also one of the source basically. But they don't use that basically. Why? That is created by Earth planet. And whatever things basically are created by Earth planet basically, they never use. Why? Because they are going to end the world. The end data basically they are sending. So Earth planet people created thing basically they will never touch. So you can just imagine basically. So one of the person told that. So that's why basically every time basically you are telling that basically 1 hour basically world will end, 1 second basically world will end. After 1 hour basically world will end. After 2 days basically the world will end. After 1 day the world will end. After 3 days world will end. So one of the satellite person told that basically we are basically sending data basically when basically that you know basically that also one of the satellite person basically told. Assume that basically just now within after 1 minute basically we are going to send the end of world data basically. So how you are going to calculate basically or basically how you are going to track basically that This basically world and data basically we have sent to you. Is basically anything basically in this world basically you are telling that basically software industry basically is there any software created basically which will capture that data? Because there was no answer basically. Why? Because you can't touch with the universe basically. There are many people basically whose age are 1 lakh year basically in this world basically, and you basically can't reach to that data basically. 1 lakh year age means basically you can just understand basically 1 lakh year age basically. That age basically I'm talking. So do you think basically you can touch that data basically? That is not possible. And you are getting that energy. The energy basically which you are getting basically that is basically coming from 1 lakh year age people basically. So there is no person basically who is getting data directly from satellite. Why? Because 1 lakh year age people basically are giving the data to you basically, and they are only basically going to send the your end data. For example, I am going to die tomorrow. Then basically they will send data to me from their body basically. So you can't imagine basically up to what level the things are connected. You can't imagine this. I'm telling you, basically. That's very dangerous. The world has created very dangerous. After this, basically, one of the person told that Sunil, basically, we are creating the chip basically, who is going to control the human body basically. That is going to affect basically. That means you are going to create the chip basically. That Earth, that the universe group basically might be knowing only basically. Because you have basically not created the world. They have created the world basically. You have not created the universe basically. They have created you basically. You basically are creating the universe basically. You are taking the role basically. But entire universe basically you have not created. So one person told that the universe basically sends the data that world is going to end. They basically sends every 24 hours. Basically. So this is my just number, rough number basically. They might be sending every 1 hour also, every 2 hour also. Basically. Because there are 900 crore human basically in this world. So their energy basically are getting processed basically in the earth planet environment, and basically in the nuclear plant also basically the energies are getting processed basically. So it's a dangerous data basically which is getting processed. So they keeps on processing the data. So mostly it might be 1 day also, and it might be hourly or weekly or after 2 hour also. So that depends upon their formula basically. What is the formula? World and world last day formula. And this is fact basically. This is fact basically. One person told that, well, basically, as in that basically, Sunil basically just taking as an example basically. Uh, as in that basically one city from your India basically suddenly got end basically. Just taking as an example basically. Because in India basically there are many states also created. That also basically we are going to discuss why they are created. So one person told that suddenly assume that basically one city of India basically got end. So that basically the universe group has sent that data or basically what basically? Universe group has sent that data basically. One person told that uh, from mobile also basically you can have the horn of car basically. One person told that, are you sure basically? Yes, basically. From mobile also basically you can have the horn basically of the car. Up to that level the technology has reached. So that was the software energy basically, which is connected up to the satellite basically. Because without satellite permission basically you can't have a single horn basically in the world basically. So just see basically up to what level the horn basically are connected. Horn, that was horn basically. Assume that basically that was from New Zealand basically. That software basically was created by New Zealand group basically. And in that basically one of the tester was Australia basically. Tester was Australia basically. So you can just imagine basically up to what level the world has reached basically. Because this is connected basically. That's why. An earthquake is also going to happen. So one of the person told that yeah basically we never thought that basically every 24 hours basically you send the data basically of world and basically. So one person told that basically daily they sends the world and data. So that is the problem. Basically, the disaster happens. Basically, for example, Himachal Pradesh, basically the mountain got blast basically, and lots of 500 house basically got destroyed. Basically, that was basically on the base of that data which was sent by the universe group. Basically, 500 basically house basically got destroyed just within 1 second. Basically, in that group also basically was that in Horn basically. So that was strange, very dangerous basically. Because earthquake has connecting the chain. So one of the person told that that is not possible here basically. You want to say that whatever disaster is happening basically in this world basically, that is also connected with that universe data basically. That is also connected with that universe data basically. That is not possible here basically. Then how basically you can say the entire mountain got blast basically in the Himalaya? Sorry, not Himalaya basically, because in Himalaya basically there is no house basically. In Himachal Pradesh basically, 1,000 house basically got destroyed basically. In Ramban, in basically that barn basically, I don't know the name of the place basically. Then also I know one name basically, that is Ramban. In that basically 1,000 house basically just destroyed within just 10 minutes. So that was shocking basically. Why? Because that data basically was given by universe group basically. That was world end data. That means world basically can be basically uh, there is no word basically for this basically. So one person told that the NASA group and ISRO group told that basically if we can capture that data basically what actually they are sending, that would be good basically. So one person basically told that the chip person basically who is created the chip basically, that is basically created for that purpose also basically. Because if you are spending money basically in crores basically, so they might not be spending like that only. Because they want to capture whole universe basically. Because they have destroyed the all trees basically. And instead of trees basically they are telling that basically this 1 lakh people basically you can display you can see that 1 lakh people basically that are human clone basically that are equal to 100 crore tree basically. So you can just imagine basically up to what level the world basically has connected basically. Up to what level the world has connected basically. So one of the person told that up to what level the world has connected basically you can't imagine basically. If you can basically 1 lakh people equal to 100 crore the tree basically. So you want to capture entire universe basically. You want to finish the nature basically. So that basically who do basically in front of the world basically that is America. But whatever in front of the world that all are wrong basically. That everybody knows. So who is that country basically? Whose idea is this? Basically? Because one day basically whole world tree will end basically. I am telling you basically. One day basically the entire world tree will end. And instead of that basically the human is going to place and they are going to spread the tree oxygen basically. That are the tree data basically. Whatever data basically it's required for tree basically. Whatever data basically you are taking inside the body basically of tree basically. That data basically the human is going to give basically. So that's the full control of human basically. The whole world human body is controlling by one person basically who will not able to believe it basically. So he want to become the king of the world basically. So one person basically asked like one more question basically. So just see what the question is. One person told that, yeah, Sunil, basically, you are basically staying in India basically, and India basically nobody basically dares to fight with India basically. So one of the satirical person told na basically because China is also basically getting afraid, Pakistan is also getting afraid, Japan basically are also getting afraid. So basically next the world owner basically of India basically one of the satirical person told that basically. So who is the current owner basically of the world basically? He got activated basically, and he told that basically who told basically this that next world owner will be the India basically. He suddenly basically got activated basically, and he told that basically who told this basically, and he started basically tracking India country basically. Who is that person basically? Then basically he captured a few data basically who are the richest people basically, and everybody knows that basically who are whatever the front basically that are wrong basically. Somebody else is handling that group basically that everybody knows basically that. So one person told that just a minute. Huh? So one person told that basically the really basically it's right or basically wrong basically because everybody gets afraid basically because Pakistan is getting afraid. Chinese group are basically getting afraid with India basically. Japan basically can't basically tell anything basically about India. One Malaysia country basically told something about India basically. That person only basically killed. So matlab, one of the person basically told from satellite that the next world basically is going to rule basically that is from India basically. Then the basically one of the person basically who was actually currently ruling the world basically he got activated basically. He got activated. He got activated. So one of the person told that daily basically world end data basically comes. Daily basically world end data basically comes. But when basically it comes, na, that basically is not fixed basically. Why? Because anybody can track that data basically. Anybody can track that data basically. And this is fact basically. So one of the person told that whenever the person basically is going to die basically, just for example, I am going to die basically. Just taking as an example, basically. Assume that basically I am going to die. tomorrow. Today is Tuesday and Wednesday basically I'm going to die. Satellite group basically captured my entire body and then basically they scanned entire my body and then basically sent one energy basically near my body basically. That was the death data. So just see basically how the death data basically get prepared basically. So one person told that we have sent the dead data basically of Sunil or NAIR basically, and in Wednesday basically Sunil or NAIR is going to die. Today is Tuesday basically. So one person told that yeah basically. So they basically captured basically. They basically sent the dead data, and the human that data basically was going to capture the human soul of Sunil basically, and he have the connection of 1 crore people basically. So here basically, which kind of disaster basically is going to happen? Just a minute. Which kind of disaster is going to happen to that 1 crore group basically? That 1 crore group, nothing is going to happen. Their energy is basically wherever it's connected, basically, there the thing is going to affect them. For example, from 1 crore energy, basically, 1 lakh city has been created. So that 1 lakh city is going to affect them. But Sunil and Nair basically is a normal person basically. So big disaster will not happen. But something basically will happen. Something will happen. So that will be what basically? Satellite group are going to capture my souls basically, and they are going to dump to that certain area basically, wherever they basically are going to do that basically. Future basically, they are going to do it. So just a minute. And everybody knows that each and every land data are connected with the universe data basically. That everybody knows that. Because Earth planet is moving on the base of certain level of energy only basically. That everybody knows basically. So like this basically, whatever disaster, whatever accidents, for example, one bus basically got down from pool basically. Just taking as an example basically. One bus basically was moving and suddenly basically he crossed his balance basically. Bus basically got down from pool basically. There also basically if you will monitor basically, there also one of the person's death data basically connected to that bus basically. So that was shocking here basically. How basically, but how basically the thing basically connected. That driver basically get effect or basically bus energy basically get effect. What basically we are not able to get that basically. How basically the bus got suddenly basically fall down basically. So you want to say that basically human souls basically are very powerful basically. That entire bus basically got down basically from pool basically. So that was shocking basically. One of the person told that literally basically this is shocking. Yeah, basically we basically never tracked up to this level basically. Even the NASA ISRO software group also basically told that we know that this everything basically, but we never track that accident thing basically. That bus basically accident is connected with that death data, death energy basically. That is that human souls basically, which comes out from the human body. The natural disaster basically which happens, that is also happening from the death energy. That are the human souls. Up to this level data basically we also don't have. So basically we need to create one software basically for this. That if person basically this kind of person basically will die. So one of the person wrote that how basically the segregation happens basically. This kind of person. That means what? Blood group or basically his behavior or basically his body structure or basically his color basically of the body or basically what basically. This kind of person mean died basically means what basically. That is also question basically. That is also question. Because this is connecting to one of the Software basically that is name given as a culture software. Culture of human basically. That basically the this type of software basically only United States of America basically they create. Why? Because they are connected with the software industry. They only basically have this type of software. So one of the person told that they basically never monitored this. Yeah, basically. That if world basically is getting end, sorry, the death data basically is coming basically. That data basically is giving the disaster of mountain basically. So sudden, just few days basically before the Himachal Pradesh basically got 1,000 building, sorry, not building basically, 1,000 house basically got damaged. That was due to which person basically died basically. You have that data basically. Then one of the software person told that basically we have data of death basically, but exact direction basically we don't know basically from where basically the mountain got crashed basically. So that was very dangerous thing basically. One of the person basically who is staying in the earth planet basically, he got afraid basically. That entire world is basically connected this way only or what? One of the person told that the land basically you can see that is a lava and lava is equal to sand, and that sand basically is connected with set of lava data. Otherwise, basically one sand basically can handle the entire 100 floor building basically. That is how it is possible. Yeah, basically. How that magical is happening. That is also thing. Basically. That is very dangerous thing. Basically. So one person told that the natural disaster basically which happens that is connected with the natural incidents only. So person basically died as if that basically I'm going to die tomorrow. So natural disaster basically is connected with one of the data. Basically. Just taking this an example. Basically. Otherwise, basically lots of people will say, "Abhi, tu mara nahi hai abhi tak." You basically told that basically you are going to die tomorrow. So that kind of people also basically are there. And few people basically will enjoy basically. So that is also basically we are going to discuss basically why they are going to enjoy. So one of the person told that that means one of the person basically from universe basically told that if they are sending the world data basically right and just seeing up to what level the earth planet is also prepared that also is basically. One person basically assumed that basically Jawaharlal Nehru or basically assume that Jinnah basically. Jinnah means Pakistani basically. Or assume that basically Sardar Patel basically. Or basically assume that Chhatrapati Shivaji basically. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So one of the person told that these people basically body basically exists in this world basically. But where basically that we don't know basically. That means somebody basically in this world basically know that basically they basically daily sends the data of Earth planet and these people basically died in front of the world basically. So up to this level also basically the universe groups are sending the data. That also somebody is checking basically. I mean you will not able to believe it basically how the fight is ongoing between universe group and Earth planet people basically. It's a big level of brain fight basically. That also you can see. Universe group are sending the death data of world. Earth planet is basically saving themselves basically. This happens daily basically. You will not able to believe it basically. So each and every earthquakes are also coming. Earthquake also just a minute. I will take one example, live example. Just now, basically, few American and few Iceland and few India country basically got some earthquake basically. So one person told that these all earthquake basically are also connected with the death data. One of the person told that yeah basically heck, matlab he is basically joking with me. He is kidding basically. How basically that is possible? Yeah? That is basically not the one of the person told us we basically how we can capture this here. How one person basically can capture that mountain basically which is falling down, thousand building basically so not building basically, thousand house basically is getting down. That is happening on the base of one person dying basically. One person has basically died, and on the base of that basically the mountain basically are falling, and then basically the thousand houses are basically getting down basically. You basically can't believe this data yeah basically I think basically you have some wrong information basically. One of the person from earth planet basically told to Sunil Arnay basically. Then you capture the data basically you will exactly able to know that what is that. One of the person told them you capture the data basically you will know that basically. Then one of the person told them yeah, we actually never thought this type of thing basically. That means in India assume that basically big earthquake is going to happen. That means big person basically whenever he is going to die, that time only basically a big earthquake is going to happen. Assume that basically in India some mini earthquake basically came. Mini means not too much magnitude basically. So that is also connected with the death data basically. You want to say that basically. So Sunil Narnack told that yes, basically, that is also connected with death data. Assume that basically I am going to die tomorrow. So assume tomorrow basically I am going to die. So today basically my near body basically the one death data is going to come that is sent by the space satellite group. After that information basically the somebody basically from space watched and then they told them by you take the earth planet basically this handover basically we are basically winding up here, but without approval of satellite basically anything is going to happen. That also you see basically. That also you see. That also you see basically. So one of the person told that each and every disaster in this world basically which is happening that is connected this way only. Each and every even basically the bus accident basically that happened you will not able to believe it basically. So one of the person told that इसको capture कैसे करें यार. How basically we can capture that basically. Bus basically one driver is running, he is running the bus, few people basically are sitting, few people basically are sitting. So you want to say that person basically who died somebody basically know from that bus basically. You want to say directly that, or basically the bus which was created which from iron basically that is created from one of the body parts basically that person basically you are connected basically that person's energy basically. So that was shocking basically yeah basically up to what level the things are connected basically. One of the person told that we basically we basically are not able to track that basically yeah. Up to what level the things are connected. That bus accident basically is happening and bus basically is falling from the pool basically. That is connected with one person basically died basically. That is not basically strange basically. Strange basically strange or basically some other word is some strange basically. As in that basically it's a strange word. If anybody want to add anything basically, then they can add basically the another word also. So one person told that up to this level the things are connected. because bus accident basically that basically fall down basically that was due to that death person basically energy that is shocking here basically literally shocking basically but how the connection basically happens yeah, basically. How the connections are connected that's very dangerous thing basically which Sunilama basically told in this video basically so one of the person told that suddenly basically the sea water basically came out to one of the city basically up to that level the things are connected of the energy basically each and every natural disaster basically happens unexpected thing basically which happens na, that is connected with the death data of the person basically so that was shocking basically. That literally was shocking basically. One of the person told that we actually never thought up to this level यार basically मतलब हमने कभी इतना सोचा ही नहीं we never thought up to this level one of the person told that this is actually really shocking stuff basically which we just got the information so one of the person basically started calculating the natural disaster basically how many natural disaster basically happens so one person told that the Dubai basically got highest basically rainfall basically there also with the that was also natural disaster basically but that basically was the cloud blasting basically but activation was happened by how basically activation was happened by the human only basically and Dubai group basically know this everything basically that this person basically when he is going to come it is not like that basically Dubai don't know basically Dubai know everything basically but they are they might be knowing this one thing is basically they might be knowing this basically, that cloud bursting is also connected with the human body activation when that person basically activates in Dubai basically that second only basically the rain gets activated that Dubai was knowing if they might be knowing then basically they might have stopped the rain basically immediately because top energy is also there that means they were not aware basically about this data. But as I know Dubai group basically, if they might have watched this video, then they might have experimented also. That really basically whatever Sunil is telling that is correct or wrong. And that person basically was from Jharkhand basically, who was supposed to come when he actually not came. Due to that basically the big natural disaster basically happened. Or basically it might possible he might have died because each natural disaster are connected with death only. Any natural disaster basically any natural basically I'm telling for example in Vadodara city one land basically suddenly got cut off basically cut off means land gets separated basically. That is also connected with the person died basically person basically died his energy basically has done that damage basically you will not able to believe it basically up to what level the things are connected basically one of the person told that suddenly basically that pool basically got down basically. That is also connected with the death data basically. We will not able to believe it basically. So one of the person basically who was creating the chip basically, he suddenly got this information that each death basically, sorry, each natural disaster are connected with the human death. And future is 100 crore tree equal to 1 lakh human body. They are going to finish the whole world tree basically. Mark my word basically. They are going to finish entire trees basically from this world, and they are going to replace the tree equal to human body. And that who know that who basically are into this, that whole world basically know this. This everything basically whole world knows this. So one of the person told that, "Yeah, basically this is basically very strange. Basically. This basically you are telling that basically the each natural disaster basically are connected with the human body death basically. That means the healthcare department basically know that if this person will die, then this natural disaster will happen. Up to that level, the healthcare department basically might be knowing, but they are healthcare department, not the zoology department. They are healthcare department. They only knows the body parts basically. They don't know about the land basically. So they might not be knowing it. Because each department basically are totally different department. The zoology department don't know about the healthcare department. Healthcare department basically don't know about the zoology software department. Healthcare software department. So one of the person told that we are basically we never thought up to this level dangerous stuff. So one of the person told that the death data basically which is going to connect that comes 1 day before. So that was shocking basically. Yeah. How basically that is possible? One of the person told that that means something basically every that means the natural disaster which is going to happen basically that basically information 1 day before only basically the satellite groups gets the information that at this place basically the big hole is going to happen basically in that land area that they might be knowing it. No? The bus basically accident which is going to happen basically that basically they might be doing 1 day before only basically. This is strange here basically. The person die basically that is connected with the natural disaster. So in this world basically whatever natural disaster is happening and happened and going to happen that is connected with the death data. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this topic.